So today we're going to talk about my lightweight setup that I use on my solo trips. The final weight of the setup is 15 pounds and there's nothing too crazy about it. I feel it's a great setup for beginners. If you follow these steps, you'll be able to take this bag just right out of your closet and hop on the trail and go backpacking for a few days. The length of a trip that you're gonna be able to do with this setup is really gonna depend on how much food you're gonna be able to fit by the time we're all done packing, but we'll get to that a little bit later. There's nothing crazy about this gear. All of it you can find on REI or Amazon, so only one shopping cart is necessary. And this is the gear I use. I think it's great gear, but a lot of this gear is interchangeable. Gear really depends on you and your needs. For example, me being a 6 foot, 200 pound side sleeper, I might want a different sleep setup than a 5 foot, 100 pound back sleeper. So just keep that in mind. This is not the end all be all for gear, but we're gonna start today with our backpack. I am using the Osprey Stratos 34 because it is a 34 liter bag. It's got plenty of pockets, straps, a real versatile bag that you can use for overnighters or even 5-day trips. It comes compatible with a 3 liter camel's back, although I don't use a camel's back and I'll show you why in a minute. The first thing that we put into our bag is our sleeping bag. Yes, I still use a sleeping bag. I know quilts are all the rage. I know you can use blankets now, and maybe a sleeping bag is a little heavy for you, but most people have a sleeping bag and most people start with a sleeping bag. So this is my sleeping bag. It is the Nemo Disco 15. I love this sleeping bag. I did a whole video on my sleeping setup if you want more information on all the individual pieces I use. Link is right here up in the corner in that little card. The next thing I'm gonna pack is my tent. Now my tent, I am using the Nemo Hornet 1-person ultralight tent. Again, a lot of people are using hammocks now. You can get a bivy sack. But for the beginner, I think you're gonna wanna start with a tent. A tent is always a good way to go. It's still light enough. It's easy to set it up, easy to find a spot on the ground. This tent has a vestibule so you can keep your pack and other things protected from the rain. I have separated out my poles from my actual canvas, and I am going to pack just the tent portion in my bag first. Again, with this setup, it's all about how much food you'll be able to store by the time you're done packing this. So if I can save space on the inside where I can put more food and strap these to the outside of the bag, that'll allow me to pack more food and go longer if I want to. Next, I have my Nemo Tensor insulated long wide sleeping pad. Again, I'm a little bit larger than the average backpacker, so my sleeping bag is a long version. This is a long version. So if you're just an average sized person, you'll get more room out of the setup than I'm gonna get, which is quite a bit. Next is my pillow. I have my Sea to Summit down pillow. I like a down pillow. Keeps your head a little bit warmer at night with that insulation. Just shove this down in there. For my cooking, I'm still using a Jetboil. This is the Jetboil Mini. This is what I use to cook my meals, to make my coffee. Is it the smallest thing? A lot of lightweight backpackers, solo backpackers might yell at me for using one of this instead of just a little stove. But again, this is more of the beginner setup. This is a real plug and play setup that I'm trying to do here, or that I want. And the Jetboil is definitely that. It's plug and play. Even if you haven't done a lot of backpacking, this is easy to use and it'll help you make everything you need, coffee, meals, etc. Don't forget your fuel. Now you're gonna need to take some clothes. This is obviously a setup that's not meant for winter backpacking. I'm going to assume that you're gonna go on a fairly nice weekend or a nice day. So in that case, you're gonna have everything that you're wearing on your adventure. Kind of what I'm wearing right now, a hiking shirt, a hat, some sunglasses, some pants. Hopefully, I like the convertible pants that you can turn into shorts or long pants. And you're gonna have your socks and your shoes. So I recommend packing an extra pair of socks for sure, in case your feet get sweaty or anything. Some socks are good for the night. I only take one extra pair. A beanie. I hike in the cold mountains. Let's say it gets down into the 40s at night. I like to have a beanie, some long underwear, Always nice before you get into your sleeping bag, some long underwear. Of course, you could, if it's really hot, maybe you don't need these. Maybe you just want to sleep in your tidy whities. I have a lot of different sizes of long underwear, from thick to real thin, so it just depends if you want some long underwear. And lastly, a down jacket here. Down packs really well. I have a full video on picking your down jacket that I'll link up here. This one is a Patagonia one. This is the one that I usually wear. A few other things that go inside the pack. I have my Xped widget. I use this to pump up my sleeping pad and my pillow. It's also a light, and it's also a little charging station. And as you'll see in a second, I have a few electronics that I take that I want charged. And this is just a really cool gadget. Again, light, charging port, and air pump. So I'm gonna just put that in there. I have some toilet paper, and I have some cord to hang my food at night. I'm gonna put that close to the top just in case I need it. And that leaves me with a bit of space in here, quite a bit of space, and this is where your meals are gonna go. So the rest of the space in here on this outside pocket are where I'm gonna put my meals, and how much food I can get in here determines how long I'm gonna be able to go. The most space saving and weight saving way to do your meals is to dehydrate them yourself. I made a whole video series with my mom about doing that. There is a link up in this card if you want to check that out and learn how to prep your meals. Once you have your meals prepped, I like to put them in some sort of dry bag, a very thin dry bag. This is what I'm going to use to hang it up in a tree at night to protect it from bears, raccoons. You might be in a place that you need a bear canister. A lot of the places that I hike, you don't need that, but you still need to hang your food. And you want to keep it dry in case it rains. So my food's gonna go in there, and it's gonna sit right there in that dry pack, in that dry sack. And then I'm gonna zip this up. And there is my pack with everything on the inside that I need. So usually for water, I'm gonna take a 34 ounce, 40 ounce, just plastic water that I got at a gas station or a store or something. Usually, typically, people are going to be backpacking around water sources. So this setup is with that intention that you're not wandering in the desert where there's no water. This is made for a place that has a lot of streams or lakes, or some place where you can get steady water. That's a lot of the places that I hike here in Idaho. So I'm gonna start my hike well hydrated, and I'm gonna just take this. And this is gonna go on the outside of my pack here. Now, since we're still on the subject of water, when this runs out or when I run low, I'm going to fill it up in that stream or creek, and I'm gonna use this. This is the Sawyer water filter. I used to have the Sawyer Mini. I don't recommend it. It'll save you a little bit of weight and space, but it doesn't work too well. So just get yourself the regular Sawyer. And honestly, most of the time, I'll just hike with this on my bottle like this, and I will filter as I go. So this will be like this. Whoa. Oh my God. And then I'll hike like this. I'll just leave it on there. I'll drink out of it, and then it just goes back into the bag like this, and I'll just hike with it like that. I also recommend taking your bag that's going to come with your filter. It is easier to fill this bottle up if you have the bag. It just fits better. You know, at camp, you might like some extra water, and you can always just like roll this bag. And there you go. You're filtering your water back into your bottle. I'll just do it that way. So there's my water. Just goes on the side here. I'll take my bag. I'll put it in the brain here. I like to utilize this top compartment quite a bit, fill this up. I don't know why. There I'll have my headlamp. I'll have my trowel tool. I'll have some sort of fire starter that goes in there. I'll have my fork and my spoon tool go in there. I'll have my cords as well. I take 2 cords, one for my navigation system and one for my phone. Those can go in there. I will just use the widget to keep everything charged. And then lastly is my little bag of goodies, my dental floss, sunscreen, some matches just in case. I have my toothbrush, which I have this little protective head on it, and I basically cut the handle off a large toothbrush so it's a little bit more compact, easy to carry. Toothpaste, of course, some aspirin, a lighter, chapstick, some extra batteries for my headlamp. I take a tent pole repair stake, just a little piece of metal in case your tent pole snaps if you step on it or something. This just, you jam in there, you throw some tape on it, it's a quick fix. And I also take, yes, my little bidet. Let's talk about pooping outside. Now, you've seen I have my trowel tool, I brought toilet paper. I also have this little thing, it's a little bidet. It's really hard to stay clean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. When you're out there, toilet paper is not easy to come by either. So this is a little thing, you just put it on your water bottle like this. This is why I take the water bottle. I mean, it's so useful. You turn it upside down and boom, there you go. And yes, that shoots up into your beehole, keeps you clean. Don't knock it until you try it. A little culo cleaner. So all that fun stuff goes into my little Ziploc bag. That goes in my brain as well, with my final piece being my Sawyer, if it's not on my water bottle. So there we go. We have the brain, we have the interior packed, we have the brain packed, we have our water system. On this side, we're going to put our poles on the outside of our bag like this, just saving us some extra space on the inside. And then finally, our last things, we have navigation. So I use a Garmin InReach Mini to navigate. I'm just gonna clip that on the front here. So also, if you're going by yourself, it's also a good rescue tool. And always take a knife. I like to keep my knife right here up at the front. I don't know why, just easier to get to. You never know when you need it. And then finally, I have my ultralight medical kit. And I like to take a little blister medics pack, just in case you get blisters that can ruin a trip in a heartbeat. And that also goes on the outside, easy to reach. You want your medic pack and your knife to be easy to reach. I also have a little compass in there in my medical pack. Not the greatest compass because it is really an emergency situation if we're gonna use it nowadays, right? But make sure you print out a print material of a map where you're going, and also take a compass just in case. And there you have it, 15 pounds dry. As an added bonus, if you're a fisherman and you want to take fishing stuff, of course you don't have to do this. I like to take a tenkara pole out there with me. So I have my tenkara rod, which will just go right next to my poles right here. We'll just share it with my, yeah, there you go. And this is going to take some of the room, usually with my food, just right in there. Or you could put it on the outside. This is my fishing gear on the outside here. And I have a video, of course, for the final time on my whole fishing setup and how to use it. Link is right up here. So let me know if you have any questions. A full list of gear can be found in the links below. And happy backpacking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.